Hello and welcome to my channel Happy Hours. In this video, I am going to discuss about the different types of bills. Ordinary bill, money bill, financial bill and the constitutional amendment bill. I am also going to discuss about the procedure of the passage of the bill in the parliament and a little bit about the budget. So what are we waiting for? Let's jump to the first topic, which is the type of bills. There are two types of bills. First is the government bill and the second one is a private member bill. The bill which is passed or introduced by the minister is known as the government bill, whereas the bill which is introduced by a non-minister or a member of the house is known as the private member bill. Depending on the nature of the bill, there are four types of bills. First is ordinary bill, second is money bill, third is financial bill, and the fourth one is the constitutional amendment bill. One by one, I am going to discuss it. The very first is the ordinary bill. Any bill which is other than the money, financial or the constitutional amendment bill is termed as the ordinary bill. Now let us discuss about the procedure for the passage of the ordinary bill. Such a bill can be introduced in either house of the parliament, except a bill under the article number 1 and article number 3, which is the creation of new state. None of the ordinary bills requires to have prior recommendation of the president for its introduction in the parliament. The bill to be passed by both the houses of the parliament by the simple majority. In case of a deadlock, joint sitting of both the houses can be convened. In the joint sitting also, the bill is to be passed by a simple majority. After the bill is passed by both the houses of the parliament, it is presented to the president, who shall declare it either that he assents to the bill or that he withholds the assents, or the president may as soon as possible return the bill to the houses with a message requesting them to reconsider the bill or any specific provision of the bill. When a bill is so returned, the houses shall reconsider the bill accordingly. If the bill is passed again by the houses of the parliament with or without amendment and present to the president for his assent, president shall not withhold his assent, and it is mentioned under the article number 111. Now there are some other aspects with respect to the passage of bill as per the article number 107. A bill pending in either house of the parliament shall not lapse by reason of the prorogation of the house. A pending in Rajya Sabha which has not been passed by the Lok Sabha shall not lapse on the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. A bill pending in the Lok Sabha or which having been passed by the Lok Sabha is pending in the Rajya Sabha shall subject to the provisions of the article number 108 lapse on a dissolution of the House of the People. Now there are three conditions for the deadlock, and it is mentioned in the article number 108. The first condition is if one house passes the bill and the other house rejects it. Second condition, if the houses have finally disagreed in the amendments to be made in the bill. And the third and the final condition is if more than 6 months have lapsed from the date of visit of the bill by the other house without the bill being passed by the house. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha will preside over the joint sitting. Now the next bill is the money bill. It is a special type of bill mentioned in the article number 110. A bill which exclusively contains one or more subjects mentioned in the article number 110 is termed as the money bill. And these matters are A. The imposition, abolition, alteration or regulation of any tax. Second, the regulation of the borrowing of money or giving of any guarantee by the Government of India. Third, custody of the consolidated fund or the contingency fund of India, the payment of the money into or the withdrawal of money from any of this fund. Now we should understand what is consolidated fund and the contingency fund. The consolidated fund, it is the largest fund of the Government of India, and all the taxes collected and all the loans which are raised and the income received by the Government of India is deposited in the consolidated fund, and it is mentioned in the Constitution. whereas the contingency fund is mentioned in the article number 261, and the parliament has been authorized to create a contingency fund. About 30,000 crore is there in the contingency fund of India now. It is to meet some unforeseen situations and when the parliament is not in the session, like flood or any other climate disaster. We cannot withdraw even a single penny of money from the consolidated fund of India without the consent of the parliament. That's why the contingent and that's where the contingency fund is used. Now, the fourth condition is the appropriation of money. Now, we should know what is appropriation. Appropriation means the allocation of money to the different ministries. Now, the appropriation of money out of the consolidated fund of India. Fifth one is the declaring of any expenditure to be the expenditure charged on the consolidated fund of India or the increasing amount of any such expenditure. Next is the receipt of money on account of the consolidated fund of India or the public account of India. Next and the last condition is any matter incidental to any of the above matters. The bill is certified by the speaker that whether the bill is money bill or not. Next, then we should discuss about the procedure for the passage of money bill. A money bill can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. It is clearly mentioned in the article number 109. A bill, after it is passed by the Lok Sabha, is transmitted to the Rajya Sabha. And the Rajya Sabha has to return the bill to the Lok Sabha with its recommendations within 14 days from the date of its receipt of the bill. The Rajya Sabha cannot amend a money bill, it can only give suggestion or recommendation. Next, the Lok Sabha may or may not accept the recommendation of the Rajya Sabha. If a money bill passed by the Lok Sabha and transmitted to the Rajya Sabha is not returned to the Lok Sabha within 14 days, it shall be deemed or considered to have been passed by both the houses at the expiry of 14 days. After it is passed by the houses of the parliament, it is presented to the president, who can give his assent or declare that he withholds the assent. It is mentioned in the article number 111 and cannot return the money bill for the reconsideration to the parliament. A money bill can be introduced only with the prior recommendation of the president. And the last is if any question arises whether the bill is a money bill then the decision of the speaker of the Lok Sabha is final. So as I have mentioned already that the money bill the bill is a money bill or not, it is the decided by the speaker. Next, now coming to the financial bill. A bill which, apart from containing one or more subject matters mentioned in the article number 110 and also contains some non-money matters, are known as the financial bill. For example, there was a Lokpal bill and it was having two parts. First part was creating of the investigating agency. And the second was the expenses of the Lokpal to be charged on the consolidated fund of India. Now, the creation of the investigating agency is the non-money matter, whereas the expenses of the Lokpal to be charged on the consolidated fund of India is a part of article number 110. So, such a bill is a financial bill. Whereas, for example, we can understand one more thing, and that is the CBI bill. If suppose there are expenses of CBI to be charged on the consolidated fund of India and bill is presented, this type of bill is only a money bill because CBI is already in existence. Now let us discuss about the procedure of the passage of the money bill. Financial bill. Such a bill can be introduced in the Lok Sabha only with the prior recommendation of the president. The bill has to be passed by the both houses by simple majority. In case of the deadlock, the joint sitting of both the houses can be convened, and after it is passed by the houses of the parliament, it is presented to the president, who can declare that he gives assent or use his pocket veto or suspensive veto. just as in the ordinary bill. Then coming to the last, which is the Constitutional Amendment Bill. Special provisions have been mentioned in the Article number 368 in the Constitution, in which any type of change like deletion or updation, etc., in any of the Constitution is done as a Constitution Amendment Bill, and it is done by the Article number 368. A bill introduced under the Article number 368 of the Constitution, Part 20, is termed as the Constitutional Amendment Bill. Such a bill can be introduced in either house of the Parliament, and the bill has to be passed by both the houses of the Parliament, sitting separately by a majority of total membership or strength of the House, and by a majority of not less than two-thirds of the member of the present and voting. Some of the provisions of the Constitution can be amended with the support of at least 50% of the states. The 24th Amendment Act 1971 made it binding on the President to give assent to the Constitutional Amendment Bill. Next, we should understand the term charged expenditure. For withdrawal of money from the Consolidated Fund of India, the prior approval or sanction of the Parliament is required. The charged expenditure are those expenditures which are charged on the Consolidated Fund of India, but they do not require prior approval of the Parliament for its withdrawal. The Constitution under Article number 112, Clause 3 declares some expenditures as charged expenditures, and it also authorizes the Parliament to declare any expenditure as so charged. These expenditures are the emoluments and allowances of the President and other expenditure relating to his office, salaries and allowances of the Chairman and Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha and the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha, the debt charges for which the Government of India is liable, the salaries, allowances and pensions payable to the judges of Supreme Court, pensions of payable to the judges of High Court, the salaries, allowances of the pensions payable to the CAG, any sum required to satisfy any judgment or award of any court or any arbitral tribunal, and last, any expenditure to be declared by the Parliament as so charged. For example, the Parliament has declared expenses of UPSC and Election Commission as charged expenditure. The expenses of the constitutional offices are charged expenditure. By analyzing the charged expenditures shows that the expenses of those institutions or constitutional offices have been declared as charged expenditures which are to function independently and impartially, like CAG, the judges of Supreme Court and the judges of High Court, etc. Now, let us understand about how the budget is introduced and passed in the Parliament. It has not been mentioned in the Constitution, and indeed it is mentioned that the annual financial statement means the word is not mentioned in Constitution, and it is mentioned as annual financial statement. It is the responsibility of the President to get the annual financial statement laid in the Parliament. Or we can say that Article number 112, Clause 1 holds that the President, as he is the head of the state, shall, in respect of every financial year, cause to be laid before both houses of the Parliament the statement of the estimated receipts and the expenditures of the Government of India. It is introduced in Lok Sabha by Union Minister of the Finance. The budget is prepared by the Department of Economic Affairs under the Ministry of Finance. According to the established convention, the budget is presented in the Lok Sabha by the Union Finance Minister, and simultaneously the budget papers are distributed in the Rajya Sabha. There is no joint sitting in Lok Sabha. In Lok Sabha, the budget is presented and simultaneously the budget copy is distributed in the Rajya Sabha. The budget speech of the Finance Minister is having two parts. First is the expenditure of the government of India in coming financial year, and the second is the future tax proposals. Now again, the budget will be divided in two parts. First is the expenditure and the second one is tax. Both will be introduced in on two different days in the Lok Sabha, and separate discussion will be done, and they are passed in two different days. After the presentation of the budget, it is divided into two parts, as we have already understood. The two parts are expenditure and the other one is the revenue. Now let us understand what is expenditure. It contains demands for the grants for the ministries, or it contains the appropriations, means allocation of money to the ministries from the Consolidated Fund of India. And that's why it is also known as the appropriation bill. This is being discussed and voting is done. Under the article, it is mentioned in under the article number 110 clause D. It also contains charged expenditures and no voting is done. And next is it is the money bill and it is to be passed accordingly. Next part of the budget is the revenue. How to meet the expenses of the government of India in the coming financial year. It contains future tax proposals. It is also known as a finance bill. It is also a money bill, as it exclusively contains only on the matter mentioned in the article number 110 subclause A. Now let us understand the difference between the finance bill and the financial bill. The finance bill is a part of budgetary process which contains the future tax proposals, and it is a type of money bill. Whereas the financial bill is a combination of money matter mentioned in the article number 110 and non-money matter. By this, I am concluding my video here. Thank you.